Hello! Today we're going to look at the correct way to use intonation to make sure that you convey the meaning that you want to. As using the right words with the wrong intonation can be disastrous. Well, first of all, you need to be aware of what you're actually saying through your intonation. And to be more expressive, you'll need to learn how to convey your emotions through the tone and pitch of your voice. This can be really challenging for many of you, especially if you're not used to changing your pitch in your native language, or it just doesn't suit your personality or cultural background. So what's the answer? Well, we need to actually understand what emotions are being expressed in our speech and in other people's speech too. Let me start by telling you a little story that explains how important it is to get your intonation right. The other day, I went clothes shopping for the first time in ages, so I was really looking forward to it. Anyway, I was walking around this lovely department store in London, trying lots of different clothes on, and I eventually decided to buy a jacket. I walked up to the till where you pay and asked the assistant to keep it for me behind the counter while I continued to shop around the store. Well, half an hour later, I came back to the till to buy the jacket, but the assistant had disappeared. She was nowhere to be seen. I waited and waited, and then I began to get a little bit annoyed. I turned round to look behind me and noticed an assistant standing just a few meters away, twiddling her thumbs. So I said, "Excuse me." The assistant looked at me, showing no emotion. Not even "how can I help?" that sort of thing. I said, "I left a jacket behind the till to pick up later, but the assistant has gone. Can you help me?" She stared at me for a moment and eventually said in a rather bored tone of voice, "What is your name?" I didn't leave my name actually." "Oh," was the reply with a sigh. "Well, what colour was the jacket?" she said, still standing 2 meters away from me. "Pink," I said, beginning to feel a little frustrated, having to raise my voice so the whole store could hear me. Okay." And she walked over towards me. From her accent, I could tell she was not a native speaker, but her tone of voice sounded very rude. I immediately felt annoyed, as she sounded as if everything was too much trouble, and she couldn't be bothered to help me. I turned and looked at her, flashing one of my deadly looks. This look basically conveys, "How dare you be so rude and unhelpful?" It was then that she got the message, loud and clear. She then cracked a smile and began to sort out the problem. I said thank you and left the shop. Well, looking back, I thought, was she deliberately being rude? Or was it that she was just unable to convey a helpful tone of voice? Well, I'll never know. But one thing's for certain, she came across as very rude, even if she didn't mean to. So come on, you don't want to make the same mistakes as the shop assistant. So let's get comfortable expressing emotions through your voice before it gets you into trouble. Let's start by looking at the extremely common word yes, or the even more common informal term, yeah. But saying it using a variety of different emotions so you can practice using different tones to express yourself. Both words have one syllable, But in order to give them more emotion, we make the word longer by stretching it out over a rise and fall within the syllable. So we say neutral yeah or yes, like this. Yeah, yes. That's easy, no emotion necessary. Now let's increase the rise and the fall so we have a rising to falling intonation like this. Yeah, yes. It expresses a more intense emotion. And lastly, a falling to rising intonation like this. Yeah, yes. Now let's listen to the word with a rising and falling intonation to show enthusiasm. Fancy going out tonight? Yeah, or yes. Here the speaker is well up for going out. That's an informal phrasal verb meaning enthusiastic. Can you hear the enthusiasm in the voice? Rewind and listen again and try it yourself. Here's the same word when you want to sound excited. How would you like to go for a drive in my new Porsche 911? Yeah, or yes. Now let's practice showing disinterest. Did you do your homework? Yeah, or yes. Notice the change in the pitch and energy. Yeah, yes. Now try it when you're annoyed, like this. Are you sure you did your homework? Yeah, or yes. See? So there was a lot more energy used that time to make it louder and a higher pitch. In all these examples, the word is the same. There's a rise and a fall in the intonation, but the pitch is slightly different. Have a practice. Just rewind. Now listen to this one to sound uncertain, doubtful, or disbelieving. I heard a strange noise in the night. It woke me up. Yeah? Did you hear the change in the intonation? It was falling to rising. It's a bit like saying, really? For my video on really, if you want to sound sarcastic and intimidating, just go here. So, how do you feel after that? It really helps to practice showing emotion through pitch and intonation, so keep it up. But please, close your doors and windows. You wouldn't want to wake the neighbours. And my final tip is, always remember that if you're unsure what attitude someone is expressing through the sound of their voice, be sure to watch their facial expression. I'll be giving you more intonation practice over the coming weeks, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. Oh, and maybe like and share too. Please, love and peace to every single one of you. That was emotional. Have I been drinking?